Continue with the session. The next talk, Hurt, Betrayal, and Forgiveness, is by Jessi Kaur. Now, Jessi Kaur is very active in the Sikh community. She is one of the most creative, multi-dimensional creative person. And this goes from, like, she has written books, for the children books, very famous couple of books. She has produced a musical. She has she has participated in IGS camps in an exemplary way. She has presented seminars on Sikhism and cultural and religious aspects in the international interfaith events. And she is at the same time editor of sikhpoint.com. So I have the pleasure of asking Jessi Kaur to come and present this talk on betrayal, hurt, and forgiveness.
Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Better be careful about my own loud voice. Okay, Virji pretty much summed up my talk, so maybe it's time to go home. No. So we've been talking about a lot of positive things that we need to do. I'm going to talk about something that's really tough to do. Really, really tough to do. It's a tough subject to discuss. It is even tougher to practice it. I stand here today not as someone who is a know-all, who's preaching it, but someone who has delved into the treasure chest of Gurbani and found some amazing nuggets and has a deep and passionate desire to share, in the hope that the Guru really becomes a roadmap and a beacon for us in pretty much all aspects of our life. What I'll share with you is by far not the last word, by far not the most exhaustive way of dealing with a very difficult subject, but it's a point of view. And I hope that I leave you with a desire to delve deeper and find your own jewels and your own nuggets that light up your own inner landscape. So I'm going to talk about betrayal. We're going to cover how it happens. I'm going to talk about what it leaves in its trail. What is the Guru's guidance around it? What are some of the obstacles that we face knowing what the Guru wants us to do? And then really, why do we have to forgive? And what does that ultimate act of forgiveness do for us? So trust and betrayal are intricately intertwined. The people we trust the most, the people that we are closest to, are the ones that have the power to hurt us. And they are the ones who hurt us the most. And that's why that hurt is so intense, so terrible, so devastating, so difficult to overcome, so hard to forgive. Because it's people that we loved and adored the most that have let us down. Has it ever happened to anyone? At all? Over here? A few brave people have shown their hands. Let me add mine to it and say that, yes, some of us have faced that milestone, that betrayal, and it has been hard. But we can't remain stuck, because that's not the Guru has asked us or wants us to do. What is it caused by? Sometimes it's caused by a simple misunderstanding. I'm saying something, and a small part of it is conveyed to someone, and that causes misunderstanding and results in someone completely feeling betrayed by what has been said. Sometimes people lie white lies that are more or less harmless, but you find them out, and then the trust is broken. Sometimes the lies are more devious, more cunning, more planned. That really hurts. Sometimes the harsh words come out because we are not mindful of what we are saying, and people feel insulted. Friends feel put down. or you feel put down that I didn't expect this from a friend, I didn't expect this from my spouse, I didn't expect this from my child. Sometimes people abandon, spouses leave you, children leave you, and in a manner that's very hurtful. And sometimes it's poor judgment. You've put trust where you shouldn't have. You've given power to a person that wasn't deserving of it. You've loved someone, seeing the red flags that have been coming up, but you've turned a blind eye to it, completely blindsided. And there are many other reasons. I've just named a few. And why does this happen? Because we are all fallible. We all make mistakes. Others make mistakes. Pullan andar sabko a pull gur kartar. There is one and only one infallible, and that is the Akal Purakh. So we all make mistakes. We hurt each other. We are hurt by each other. And then that devastation is, I need to rush. I'm already getting the signal. Okay, so what happens? So what happens when trust is betrayed? There's a lot of anger, there is pain, there is confusion. You want to make up, you want to not talk to the person. All kinds of confusion is there in the heart. The desire to lash out, the desire to make up, the desire to talk about what happened, to regurgitate it, to vent, to do whatever. There's all kinds of confusion that's going on. And underneath it, the desire to let people know what has happened to you. It's so huge, I never expected it to happen. Look what happened to me, poor me, right? So all of that is going on. And we're caught up in that fire. We are caught up in that agni of krodh. Kaam, krodh, chale sab koi. Everyone is burning in that hurt, in that desire to get even, in that anger. Whatever it is that's eating us up, that we want people to know, that we want somehow to go away, right? And what does it leave in its trail? What it leaves in its trail, if it is unresolved, is a pain that festers. It's like a worm in an apple. And the entire relationship is debunked. There was never anything good in it. I knew it. Stupid me, I trusted this person. I never should have. All the good is forgotten with the bad. There is bitterness. Not only that, trust in other relationships is broken. And so in other words, this one incident colors our entire perspective, colors our entire life. There's that internal chatter going on the whole time. And what is the victim? What is the loss? That connection, that simran, that inner alignment that you feel with the Vaheguru, that is keeping you in tune, that harmony inside, that is so precious, that goes away. That's broken. So is it worth it? Is it worth it? Can any good come out of this? Can any good come out of betrayal? Is that even possible? That betrayal can lead into something good? Can healing happen? Or will this go on forever? Can forgiveness take place? And at what level? How? Can negative feelings be ever put to bed? Or is this my fate for the rest of my life? Now that I've been hurt, betrayed, devastated, crushed, am I going to live like this? How is suffering transformed? How does it become something larger? There is one very simple method of clarification. It's been called the transactional model of forgiveness, where the person who has hurt you or who has felt hurt by you accuses you that, look, you did this to me. You sit down and talk. You dialogue, right? The person who has hurt the person listens to it with an open mind and says, I get it. I didn't mean to say it like that. I didn't mean it like that. And there's all that hugging then, and then there's recommitment, and then you promise never to do it again. And even though there may be a little crack in the relationship, you recommit to build it again, to build it back. These kind of things keep happening. Those are good relationships. That's where we want things to continue. That's what happens when we are committed to that relationship and we don't want to break it. But it doesn't always happen like that. Most of the time what happens is, we remain sourpussed. I was right and that person was wrong. Why should I forgive? If I forgive, the person will think they were right. And it's a sign of weakness. And they don't deserve it. Everybody needs to know what they have done. And then the last one, the best one I've heard is, Sikhi doesn't allow you to do that. Guru Gobind Singh fought for what was wrong. He wants you to fight. Okay, fight. But what did he fight for? Existentialism. That's what he fought for. But we bring that to every little situation and put a stake in the ground that Guru Gobind Singh wants us to just let this person be known as the worm they are, right? Otherwise we'll be weak. So what does this do to us? You know, we wear ourselves down. Moho tagoli homui savarte sansar. This drug, this addiction of emotional attachment to our own hurt, to people who have hurt us and not being able to let go of that. What does it do? It destroys us. It destroys our inner core. Tavat tavat sab jagtayo ab aaye har dwari durmat met buddh pargasi jan nanak gurmukh tari. I want you to tell me, Babaji, what should I do? You are my guru. I come to you. I seek your guidance. And I have heard you say, Har bisrat sada kuwari, tako tokha na byape jako or tuhari. You have told me that if you turn to me, nobody can hurt you, nobody can betray you. But look what has happened. So what do I do? Tell me. So then the Guru tells us what to do. And here are a few selected nuggets from what the Guru tells us. And there are many, many more. There wasn't time to go into everything. So why forgive? Why forgive? The Guru says, Guru milye, humko sarir sudh hoi, haume trisna sab agan bujai, bin se krodh kima geh lai. Pakad lai. I want to grasp forgiveness. Har aape kripa kare naam deve, gurmukh ratan ko virla leve. You know, this kind of inner chatter, this kind of destructiveness towards yourself becomes a barrier, becomes a wall between everything that is harmonious. Your whole demeanor changes towards everyone around you. You snap at your children, you snap at your pet, you snap at your work, you know. So, ਉਹ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਮਰਨ, ਉਹ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ connection, because that needs space, that needs things to be calm, that needs equanimity, that needs equipoise. It's gone. So I'm coming to the Guru and saying, I need your help. And what does my Guru tell me? My Guru tells me, Nivan so akhar, khavan gun, jeba maniya mant, et tret Vane Veskar Tavas Avikant. My Guru says, be humble. It doesn't even matter beyond a point who was right, who was wrong in certain relationships, in precious relationships. It's okay for you to forgive. It's okay for you to ask forgiveness. It is okay for you to go out and reach out to the person first. It's okay for you to make that gesture. Some wrongs are so heinous, so terrible, that it takes lifetimes to reach that point, especially when your children are hurt, or your spouse is hurt, or someone who is helpless is hurt. But most of the time in life, things don't get that serious, that intense. Most of the time, things can be made well and okay by granting the other person the benefit of the doubt. By saying that, look, let's talk about it. Come on, let's dialogue, let's sit down. I am sorry if I said something wrong. You know, the sorry is a very magical word. It brings down the walls. It allows the other person to feel, wow, this person is not judging me the whole time. They didn't really condemn me forever. And it creates space to own your part in that event that has happened. Very often I've seen that when I have gone ahead and said sorry, whether it is to Gurjot or to another person that I'm close to, very spontaneously, after a little while, they've said, I'm sorry too. And then you hug and make up. And that's very important, humility. Sabko nive aapko, parko nive na koe, tar taraju toliye, nive sogora hoy. I have to remember that my Guru likes this humility. My Guru likes this sweetness. Who am I going to please? Who am I going to live for? Or act, or I'm going to live for myself, right? I'm going to live for my own, the elevation of my own consciousness, my own progress, my own inner core being healthy. So it's okay for me to look at the larger picture and say, perhaps I could have done something wrong. And that creates space, like I said. So, once again, the barrier there is, but the person was wrong. And by doing this, I'm giving them a license to do it again. They'll do it to someone else. So what's the benefit of doing this? Gurbani tells us, Jit kita paye apna, sa kaal buri kyu kaaliye, manda mool na kijai, de lammi nadar nihaliye, jo sahib naal na hariye, teheva pasa taliye, kich lahe upar kaaliye. I am here to gain some profit in this lifetime. And I have to think ahead. De lambi nadar nihaliye. What will happen if I don't reach out? If I stay stuck in my hurt and in my sense of betrayal? What's going to happen? Is it worth it? Is it okay for this relationship to break? And sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's okay for that relationship to break. But do that lambi nadar. Consider the long term in everything that you do. Always think about what are the consequences. Okay. Why forgive? Again, Kabira, jahan gyan teh taram hai, jahan jhoot teh paap, jahan lobh teh kaal hai, jahan khima teh aap. I love this line. Jahan khima teh aap. The Bible tells us to err is human, to forgive divine. To forgive divine. But here, the Guru goes a step further. Wherever there is forgiveness, there is the presence. Jahan khima teh aap. Do I want that? Do I want that for myself? Do I want that Harya Parya Bhag that Monji referred to? That harmony within me? Or do I want to be right? Or do I want to stay and stick to my guns? And say, no, it was your fault. I lose the bigger picture. I lose the bigger picture in so many different ways when I stay stuck. Forgiveness. So, looking at these nuggets, forgiveness is a good thing, okay? We should do it. We should make that attempt. We should take that first step, right? Towards mending that relationship. But it's not easy, nor is it linear. So what do? I came across a jewel while I was searching for guidance on this. And this is the key to everything we want to do in life. Karo manorath mane mahe. Karo manorath mane mahe, apne prabh te pavo. Have the intention in your heart. Have the desire in your heart to do this. For this relationship to be mended. For there to be harmony. For there to be peace in your heart. Have that manorath. Have that wish. And when you have that wish in a pure, in a clean heart, what happens? Apne prabhu te pavo. Apne prabhu te pavo. God grants it. Ask and you shall receive. The power of intention is so strong in any field, whether it's professional or personal, anywhere. Your ambition, where you want to get there. There are so many books that have been written on it. But when I saw this in Sri Guru Granth Sahib, like, wow. Karo manorath mane mai. Think of it. Want to do it. Nurture that intention. Water it. Strengthen it. And apne prabhu te pavo. Don't carry this baggage. Be open to the other person's point of view. Very important. Get out of the circle of blaming and bad-mouthing. And then lastly, look at the non-linear big picture. We'll come to that at the end. So blame and positionality of right and wrong. How do you give up blame? And why should you give up blame? Again, some nuggets from Guru Granth Sahib. Bura bala koi na kahije, chod man har charan kahije. Give up the arrogance. Give up the pride. Give up the pride that I was right and ya main vadama, ya whatever that thing that is holding you in your arrogance, that is not serving you well. Next few lines. Bura bala ko kisko kahiye sagle ji tumhare. Munji referred to this. See God in everyone. Very hard to do that. But how do you love Vaheguru if you hate Vaheguru's Jan? Right? Balihari kudrat vasya. Apni creation de vich, apne nature de vich, apni dunya vich vasya hai. Apne jiyan vich vasya hai. There's a beautiful verse by Farid ji, Sheikh Farid, which I haven't quoted here. He says that the most precious thing in the world, the most delicate thing in the world, the most treasured thing in the world is the human heart. Don't hurt it. So I want to come from that perspective that if I have hurt it, I want to undo that. I don't want to be saying bura pala. Then this is a very beautiful line. Par ka bura na rakho cheet, tumko dukh nahi pai meet. When you don't think that the other person is bad, you are the one who will not become dukhi. How beautiful. Par ka bura na rakho cheet, dil vich na rakho. Forget it. Tumko dukh nahi pai meet. You trouble yourself. You pain yourself when you think that the other person is bad. You think that you're hurting them? No. And then the last one. Bura bala je sam kar jane, in bid sahib ramat rahe. The sahib, the Lord, the Father, the Creator, is happy. When you don't play the blame game, He's happy. He's delighted by this. When you don't get into this. So I'm going to skip this, find some more yourself. But I want to focus on forgiveness being a process. It doesn't happen just by making up your mind. It happens, it's like a flickering candle whose flame strengthens in its radiance when the winds of ego are kept away from it. You have to shield it from the winds of ego. And that's when this flickering flame will gain its radiance. You have to make a serious commitment to the spiritual principle of surrender, that what you did is right. Humility and surrender is so important. Here is something very important. Understanding the event as part of a larger plan offers opportunities for growth with many options. So maybe if I've lost this job, or if I've lost my role in this huge corporation or organization or whatever it might be, perhaps it's time for me to move on. Perhaps Babaji has a bigger role for me. I was too contained in this. I have done my job. I need to move on. Allow new doors to open. They say that if a window is closed, a door is open, or vice versa. There are other opportunities that come up. So the blame here then leads to understanding. Turn the blame, shine the light of understanding on blame, and that's how it will go away. You have to listen when somebody is blaming you. You listen and then shine the light of understanding. And when you understand, it gives birth to compassion and empathy. You get it, you understand it. What happened? It's only people who hurt themselves are hurting each other, hurting somebody else. Somebody who's at peace, somebody who is together inside, somebody who's aligned doesn't hurt. Someone who's hurting hurts. Acknowledge the hurt that you have received. Allow yourself time to grieve over it, and then let it go. A very important thing to realize in this process is, Bura Bala kich aapas te jaanya. I have thought that bura bala happens because of you and me, right? That we are creating it. But the Guru says, Ei sagal vikara. This is the root of the problem. This is the ignorance. E furmaya khasam ka hoa, varte e sansara. This is the hukam of the Lord. This is happening too under His command. And so let it happen, let it unfold, and let's see where it takes you. Either it'll make you a bigger, larger, nobler person through compassion and forgiveness and empathy, and elevating you to empowerment where you take care of yourself even better, or it'll end one relationship whose time, whose season, whose purpose in your life is over, and you're moving on. In either case, do it without rancor. Do it without getting embittered. Equally forgive yourself. And so, look at what the Gurus did. Virji referred to Guru Gobind Singh's wanting to have a dialogue with Aurangzeb through Zafarnama. Let me tell you where you went wrong, my friend. You are a Muslim. This is not what the Quran preaches. I mean, who could have done worse wrong than him? Look at what Guru Har Gobind Ji did. His father was tortured by Jahangir. He befriended Jahangir. What did Guru Arjan Dev Ji do? He sat on the Tavi Tati and said, your command is sweet. Your hukam is sweet. You know, our troubles and travails and challenges are so puny compared to what the Gurus went through. And we can say, oh, they were the Guru, it doesn't matter, you know. They were the Gurus, so we can't be the Guru. But you know, they left these exalted examples for us so that we can slowly, little by little, become like them. You know, this reminds me, my last comment here, this reminds me of this verse by Kabirji, where he says, who should the devotee of Guru be like? And he goes on to say that he should be humble, be like a pebble. He said, but then the pebble will hurt the person who's walking. Maybe he should be like dust. But then he says the dust will get into the eyes and bother someone. Or maybe he should be like water. He says, but the water boils and cools down. And then in the end he says, he should be like God. Harjan harjahi jaisa hoy. So we have to be like the Divine Father. Inculcate that qualities, that vastness, little by little, one baby step at a time. And how does this happen? Through Gur Prasad. Our intention is strong. We water that intention. But we keep praying for it. We keep nurturing it. We are sincere about it. Bura pala kich aapas te jaane ei sagal vikara e furmaya kasam ka hoa varte e sansara. Through Gur Prasad, we realize this is the hukam. Through Gur Prasad, we realize that this is good for us. I'm glad that phase ended. I'm glad that relationship ended. But no rancor. It's okay. We can still greet each other nicely. But perhaps this is time for new avenues, new fields, right? So this is a small subset of what the Guru's light is on forgiveness, on how to live, on how to create compassion and empathy in our heart. There is so much more. And I encourage you to take those deep dives into Sri Guru Granth Sahib and find out more. It's truly a treasure chest, an ocean of amazing wealth. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Thank you, Jessi ji, for an excellent talk on such a sensitive topic. There are a number of questions here. Number one, this is a specific case of domestic violence. There is a question that things that perpetuate it and take it to a serious level include the victim thinking that I might have done something wrong, or I was hit because he loves me. And the question is, where should the victim really draw a line?
think in cases of physical abuse, the first time it happens, you draw the line. You go seek help. You tell someone who is qualified to help you. This is where you don't put up with it, in my opinion. Somebody physically abuses their spouse, it's done. That relationship is over. That's where the person has to close that door and be brave and reach out for help. Because you know what? That's not done. Short answer. Yeah. You know, the community puts up with that. I'm sorry. Our community puts up with that. I don't have a lot of time, but I'll tell you this, that I got a call out of the blue from someone and said that I want you to talk to this girl who is suicidal. I don't know the child. I called her, and it was a very sad story of someone in Fremont, Gurdwara, physically abusing a woman, emotionally blackmailing her, and the woman committed suicide. The person who abused her is still being respected and is still part of the Gurdwara and does the Akhand Path. Our community puts up with this crap. There are many instances of this. I'm sorry, I'm being blunt about it. The woman will not put up with it if she has a support structure and she knows that people are going to stand up for her. We become weaklings there, sorry.
Thank you. I think this is a very important topic, and maybe we should have a different discussion on that sometime. There is another question. What if you tried everything from your heart to forgive him, and he never changes his intention towards you?
Never changes his intention?
Intentions towards you, or his reaction towards you.
So the person, I want to understand this. So somebody has made a mistake and they're genuinely apologetic, genuinely want forgiveness, but they're not forgiven? Is that the question?
They don't make any change. They just say sorry.
Oh.
They don't mean it.
Is that what the question is?
It's not very clear, but that's what seems
Could
like
could
the
someone,
intention.
whoever has, could they elaborate? Because this is important. Whoever sent this question, could they elaborate a little? Are they not forgiven? Or are they?
Like, if you tried, you said, you forget the guy who did something, or you apologize him.
Wait. So somebody has wronged you. Is that what it is?
No, that's a miscommunication.
Misunderstanding. Yeah. Yeah.
And you clear everything from your side.
Yeah.
And you say sorry, apologize.
Yeah.
And still the guy is not forgiving you. Like he still keep the thing in his mind.
I mean, it's clear. Just you're done. That's when you know you're done. You've done your best. You know, there's a very beautiful Zen Buddhist line which says, sweep your side of the street, your side of your corner. You've done your bit. You've apologized, right? You've done it sincerely. You've done it humbly. You're done. That's all you can do.
I think it's good to answer the other side of that question too, because I think that's one, and the other side is you know trying to figure out. And by the way, it doesn't matter which gender this is.
Yeah, sure.
I think because you've got one side and the other side.
Sure.
Both questions.
Please go ahead and ask.
Right.
Yeah, ask the question, Supreet.
No, I'm just taking that question because it was interpreted in two ways. One way is you've asked for forgiveness and forgiveness is not forthcoming. And the other is, what if you've asked for forgiveness? What if you've not asked for forgiveness and the behavior is being repeated? So I think
You have not asked for forgiveness.
in spite of forgiveness, the behavior continues.
Well then,
The answer, I know what you said.
Yeah.
The answer is obviously is you're done.
yeah. I mean, and don't be afraid to be done. You know, I mean, some relationships need to be done. If they're abusive, if
When they don't acknowledge you're done, that's the question.
then that's when they need
That is
help.
answer, right?
Yeah, that's when...
That you are done. You have done your best.
You've
That's
done
it.
your best. But my main contention in this is, do whatever you need to do for your inner core to remain intact, to be at peace, for that inner chatter to subside, so that you can work on your own, on the elevation of your own consciousness. You cannot be in relationships where, things are always going bad. It's draining. And I used to think earlier that you have to keep trying. Yes, you have to keep trying, sincerely, but up to a point. Sometimes it's over. That's when people split. And you know what? Don't grieve over it too long either. Move on. There are new things that are happening. Wonderful things around the corner. People who separate do get remarried and do have a good life afterwards.
Okay, so let us move on. There is another question. Actually, there are two very similar ones. And here it is not regarding relationship, but the question is about forgiving. It says that how about the bigger things, situations like 94? Forgiving is okay, but just letting things go.
Very important.
What it would lead to, won't they do it again and again? I think this 84 is still in the psyche of a lot of people.
How can you forgive when forgiveness has not been sought and reparation has not been made? Right? Reparation has to be made. The balance has to be resurrected. You can't. Punishment has to be done. Even when a child misbehaves, you give them time out. But you're not revengeful. We don't go out and kill just because somebody killed our people. That's where we go wrong. What we do seek for the wrongdoers to be punished. Yeah?
And
I might make a comment. I think there is a kind of forgiveness that makes sense in that, which is an internal forgiveness, so you don't carry a grudge.
Yeah.
You don't say we are not Indians anymore.
Right.
You don't say I hate all Indians. You don't start killing other people and calling them pro-government.
Right.
So don't hurt ourselves.
Yeah.
We get over it, but we still work to overcome the
Yeah.
injustice.
We keep fighting for reparation, the right thing to happen, but we don't embitter ourselves. Very important, we don't embitter ourselves.
we can continue working towards getting the justice done.
Yeah.
But
And in all of this, so many times we make mistakes, right? We should learn to forgive ourselves too. And also, last word on this, that we're always asking for Vaheguru's forgiveness, right? And in as much as we are ready to forgive others, I think we become deserving of Vaheguru's forgiveness. That's it?
and then I think there is a last question from
One more?
from me.
Yeah, okay.
Now that is, you talked about forgiving others in the relationships and different contexts, but you have any comments on forgiving oneself?
I just said that. I just said that. That in all of this, don't forget that we make mistakes, right? We have to forgive ourselves. We can't be beating ourselves over and over again that, oh my God, how stupid I was. How could I trust this person? Why did I do this? We have to learn to forgive ourselves too. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.